I just came up here to make a few points. First of all, I've always been the type of person that handles situations behind the scene. I'm like that in my real life. I'm like that on YouTube. I'm a person that is a loyal friend to whoever my friends are. I have like 4 people on YouTube that I consider friends. 3 sisters, 1 a brother. And no, it's not a virtual friendship. It's a real friendship because I talk to these people all the time. But in being the type of person that handles things behind the scene, and when you handle those things behind the scene, whatever's said is left behind the scenes. That's why you call people, so you're not screaming and hollering at each other on YouTube. The last time I checked, that was the adult thing to do. But that doesn't work for everybody. Everybody doesn't honor that when you talk, and you talk to somebody, but the person decides that they feel the need to let everybody know that they talk to you. The person called you, persons in this case call you, you tell them what your problem is, they make their assessment, they decide that they don't believe you. That's fine. I don't care. I don't have to prove anything to you. I should have followed my first mind and not even answered your questions, because now I know what I didn't realize then was that you are not a loyal person. There was nothing legitimate about your concerns or your cares. It was essentially you being messy. Essentially you having something else to talk about when there was no need to talk about it. Then all of a sudden there was a video. And that video was never produced because that video never existed. And not to mention the fact that anything that I say to you, I can say again. Now, the only reason why I'm not calling you to handle things behind the scene, because you did exactly what I asked you not to do. Not to mention my name, not to say subliminal things about me. I asked you the last time I spoke to you, don't send for me. But you continuously do it. And then you have the nerve to try to make it seem like I've told you something about these people that I consider to be my family, as if I told you something personal about them or something bad about them. First of all, I don't have anything bad to say about them. And second of all, these 2 people, this married couple, I don't have anything bad to say about them. Never told you anything bad about them. Never allowed you to talk bad about them without correcting you. And you have the nerve and the audacity to try to make it seem like you know something. You need to stop being manipulative, and you need to stop playing games, because you don't know anything about them, and I haven't said anything bad to you about them or anybody else for that matter. It's not something I do. See, I actually love and care for them. Now, some people's way of showing love, and that's up to them, is they make videos to support people, or they right there hollering and screaming with people on panels, or whatever the case may be. That's not what I do. I don't do it in chats. I don't do it on panels. And when I have a problem with somebody, I handle it behind the scenes. That has been my character all of my life, on YouTube and off YouTube. And I'm not going to stoop to your level. You said a whole lot of things that you said you didn't say, and you did. And what I'm talking about when I say that is I'm talking about videos. You say all of these mean and nasty and facetious things to people on videos. And when the person goes back to the mark, right where you said it, those things are gone. And then other people who don't know you and don't know the situation Go and look at those videos. It is no longer there. So you look like the good person. It looks like everybody else is crazy. Sometimes you mention names, but a lot of times you subliminally say stuff. And if nobody else knows exactly what you're talking about, the people who are in your group know what you're talking about. You insult people. I tried to come up there last night, and what happened? Introduce yourself. You already know who I am. You're well aware of it. I've never hidden who I am. You know who I am. But no, you had to play this little power control game to make it seem like you had all the power. Yeah, that is your channel. But it's a difference between having respect for people and being decent. And that was something that you did absolutely none of. It's something that you don't do the majority of the time. You want to talk about people and the fact that they're Christians and they don't act like Christians. Well, guess what? The last time I checked, Christians are human beings. Christians have feelings. You can't keep talking crazy to people and sending subliminals and lying on them and expect them not to say anything. Because you thought she was talking about you and she generalized. No, she didn't. And then you sat there on your page last night and you read encouraging messages that she left to you. She left those messages when you were being a positive person. When your circle of influence was really an influence that people could look to. That no longer exists. You're not that person anymore. And you haven't been for a long time. But guess what? You're grown. You can be whatever you want to be. But when you start targeting people, when you start calling people out of their name, when you start talking about people's children, when you start lying on people, ain't nobody supposed to say nothing to you, huh? A person that's a Christian just supposed to say, oh no, I'm just going to keep turning the other cheek. What, somebody's face supposed to turn off turning the other cheek for you? Who are you? You're not nobody. You don't have the right to talk to people any kind of way and just get away with it. You don't have the right to pick on people and just get away with it. And you don't have the right to tell people lies or try to manipulate the situation as if you know something you don't know. You know nothing. You haven't conducted yourself as the person you came here as for a really long time. And what ended up happening when those people came out and spoke against you and started to protect themselves, other people came out. And they started telling their stories, whether it was on a panel or whether it was in chats. They started telling their stories. And what did you do? You tried to make it seem like everybody was crazy. All those people, like you tried to tell me, all those people can't be wrong. Why do you think that all those people would just lie on you? Oh, wait a minute. They're jealous. They're insecure. They want you off YouTube. Who are you for somebody to want you off YouTube? You ain't nobody. It's enough subs and views to go around for everybody. You're not a threat. I mean, does that even make sense to you when it comes out of your mouth? Nobody ain't trying to run you off YouTube. If anything, there's been times you said you don't leave and people tried to encourage you. Before you became this trash talking, manipulating, lying piece of mess. And oh my goodness, you call people messy? You call people messy? The nerve of you. Yeah, you may not be messy with everybody you talk to, but it's obvious you're messy with quite a few group of people. And people are coming in defending you, and they don't even know this whole situation. You haven't even been here long. You just got here. But that same person, some folk over on the other side, didn't deal with her. Then she went to somebody else, and they didn't deal with her. And now she's sitting with you. Yeah, that's a Christian too. At least it was. At least that's how she came. At least that's what she portrayed. All the cussing and carrying on and acting crazy that she's done. But I guess she's still a good Christian or whatever she is now. Because it's obvious somewhere she switched plates. She switched roles. And the reason why I'm not calling you behind the scenes, and the reason why I didn't answer your phone call last night or the other week when it was blocked when you tried to call me, is because you play too many games. I would never talk to you on the phone again without another person being there. Never. Because you like to play little head games. You got a lie. Girl, you got more game than Parker Brothers. But don't lie. Stop lying. You've lied about a lot of things. And it's really sad that you've lied to all these people. And all these people, the new people, don't even know the whole story. And so far as you running that video that I made yesterday, I didn't take that video down, and nor is it on private. It vanished. It vanished. But I don't have a problem saying the same things I said, but I'm a lot calmer now. And I'm not going to waste my time cussing and stuff, because you ain't worth it. What I won't do is on Judgment Day, have to talk about you or anything or anybody on YouTube. You're not worth me talking to God about more stuff. You're honestly not worth anybody talking to God about you and the things that you do. And then, my goodness, how many times will you cuss and say God in the same sentence? Don't you know that's a form of blasphemy? It's a bunch of different forms of blasphemy. Then you swearing. Jesus, I believe you lie to Jesus. You lie to him. I don't appreciate God being pushing me. Nobody tried to push God on you. Ain't nobody try to push God on you. And it's mighty funny, can't nobody get the devil off of you. Because he riding your coattail. He riding your back. And you're so caught up in your own little game. And you keep saying everybody else wants viewers and subscribers. You're doing the same thing that you accuse people of doing. It just so happened ain't none of them other people doing that. That's not about views and stuff for them. That's about them protecting themselves. That's about you coming up there trying to pick people apart and lie on people. And then you want to say, oh, they're stalking me. Nobody's stalking you. Your whole life is on YouTube. Who's stalking you? Stalking you for what? You ain't nobody. Your life ain't important to nobody but you and your family. And those are the only people it should be important to. And then you want to say other people have no life. If other people have no life that's on YouTube, you must not have no life, because you're looking at the people on YouTube and making videos yourself. So I guess you don't have a life either then. Women tearing each other down and men tearing each other down. I'm here to build people up. If that is not a hypocritical statement, I've never heard one. You are one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen in my life. And you are one of the messiest people I've ever seen in my life. See, it's the difference between being a Christian and defending yourself because you're a Christian and you're human, and defending yourself. Ain't nobody gonna keep taking your trash. They have every right to defend themselves. And that's something you wanted anyway. People like you love to try to make Christians look like bad people by constantly poking and poking and poking and poking. And then when they snap on you, oh, she's such a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. I haven't heard them say anything about God in 2 weeks. That's because you've been running your mouth for 2 weeks. That's because it was time to shut you up. Oh, and wait a minute, excuse me. You won't shut up. But it was time to answer those phony calls you kept making, those phony tapes you kept making. That you take this part out, that part out, and when somebody go to find it, it ain't there no more. Are you serious? A man shouldn't say anything to a woman. Whenever you do get married, and I really hope you do, if your husband does not protect you the way her husband protects her, you might want to divorce him. Because that ain't what you want. Any husband, you can go all over YouTube and find husbands protecting their wives. With their mouth and with their body if they have to, against other women. He may not put his hands on her, but he gonna move her out the way so she can't harm his wife. As far as calling you all those names, why you think that happened? Did it start that way? But you kept going and going and going. So you got what your hand called for. You called for that ass whooping and you got it. You called for it. But trust me when I tell you that this will be my last video concerning anything like this. And you did not run me off YouTube, nor did you expose me. There's nothing for you to expose me for. But let me tell you what I exposed. I exposed that I am an adult that handles things like adults do. And you exposed that you're an adult and that you can't handle things like adults do. When someone comes to you, woman to woman, you're not even a woman enough to keep it to yourself. I guess that makes you feel powerful. Because see, I'm one of them Bible-toting Christians too. I cuss. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But wouldn't the very 3 people that you hadn't gotten in the argument with be the very 3 people you want to? The people that are positive? Girl, you got more views than you ever had before when you started arguing with my brother and sister. Your views skyrocketed. And it's sad. It's sad that your views went up because it was something negative. They wouldn't have cared if one person viewed it. Because they knew somebody was going to tell you anyway if you weren't sitting there yourself. And by the way, you proved you were sitting there the other night. When you said, oh, I saw their name. I saw that name. Whatever that person told you. You proved it. Miss, I refuse to watch anything. Mighty funny you watched it. Mighty funny you watched it. See, difference between me and you is I don't watch your videos. I get those emails and those text messages and those phone calls. Just about every time you say something, somebody's called me and told me. I don't have time to watch you because you're negative. And I won't watch you after this. So knock yourself out making all the videos you want to make. I told you all a long time ago. You get one response and I'm done. I haven't made one video about you. I haven't said your name. Oh yeah, the one yesterday that disappeared. And some of the people that you know might have something to do with that. Yeah, it just vanished. It didn't say user removed it. It said the recording was unavailable. There was one that was 30-some seconds that I removed. And it said that. So please don't get your big girl, the S on your chest, your big girl muscles on thinking you did something. You ain't did nothing. And you don't have a heaven or hell to put me in. You're worthless to me from this day forward, just like I'm worthless to you. So we have no need to have any contact. Lose my number. I'm going to lose yours. Make all the videos you want. Knock yourself out. But let me tell you something that I, as a Christian, know. God know the truth. You said to tell, you always want to say, God said vengeance is mine. It really is. It really is. And trust me when I tell you, I've already said a prayer to God to deal with you. There's a vengeance prayer in the Bible. Miss Smarty Pants, Miss Know Everything. It's in Psalms. Look it up. Why don't you try praying that prayer over these people you said did you so wrong? And stop running your mouth. But guess what? Even if you prayed that prayer, baby girl, wouldn't that happen to nobody? Because ain't nobody did nothing to you. Every single person that has said you've done something to them. And we watched it. We've watched you pick on people. We watched you keep saying little phrases over and over again. And when it got bad, people started rolling out on you like hot pancakes. The very person that stuck with you the whole time, no matter what you did. The only reason why you tried to get her to come back was so you could grill her like you did. Or try to use her in part of your manipulation tactics. You are the broke politician that never made it. That's what you are. Because you lie and you cheat and you deceive just like politicians. The same person that said you will vote to keep God out of schools. You, that person. Keep playing with God. Keep saying God's name. Keep making jokes when you're talking about God. Get in your Bible and so you can read and see that that's a really serious thing. That ain't something you do. It's really not. It's not okay. You think it's a joke. You wonder why different things. We all have problems. Let me say this. We all have problems. We all go through trials and tribulations. All of us do. And we all have to be held accountable for things that we do. All of us do, because we all do things. We're humans. As long as you're flesh, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to sin. It is what it is. But when somebody is as malicious as you are, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. It's a video on somebody's page that talks about the Jezebel spirit. You might want to look at that. Because you and that spirit have a lot in common. You never admit you're wrong. You don't have problems using people towards your agenda. Yeah, using people towards your agenda. And the people you use towards your agenda, a lot of them have been deceived. But people are figuring it out too. Look at your sub count. Look at your subs. Look at how they've changed. They just left because you're just such a great person. You talk to people crazy. And then what's even worse is you do all this stuff and say you didn't do anything. Like your subs are dumb, like they can't see it. And then you got a couple people that try to get you to get off of that and go somewhere else. And you get mad at them. You mistreated a lady so bad a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually, it was a couple. You was dead wrong for that. All they was trying to say is, look, hey, let that go. Let's move on. Let's move on to the positive person you said you were. Or the positive person we thought you were. Then you had the nerve to say, if you're talking, you lying. A lot of things that you said, you really were talking about yourself. And you know that. Not any of the good things, though. Not that. Not that. Oh, but wait a minute. You haven't hardly said too many good things about anybody. Shows what you think about yourself, huh? Learn how to be a lady. I wish you the best in your life. Have a nice life. That's what I told you last time. Have a nice life. I'm not making no more videos. So you can make whatever you want to make. You can say whatever you want to say. Knock yourself out. But constantly talk about exposing people, but you have exposed yourself for the lying, manipulative, heartless, unthoughtful, disorganized, unruly, narcissistic female that you are. Oh, and let's not forget Ratchet. Let's not forget Ratchet. That falls right in line. And when you go look at the Jezebel spirit and think about all the things, but see, you can tell us anything. You can tell us anything, but God knows. And we know what we've seen. Ain't nobody picking on you. Don't nobody have time for that. Ain't nobody trying to run you off of YouTube. You're not a threat. And trust me when I tell you, none of you have ran me off YouTube. I can go and do and be who I am. I came here without you, and I'm going to leave without you. Don't be mad. Smooches.